Our hands together for Mr. Menu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. MC. Honorable Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, colleague directors, and chief executives of the various companies here in assembled. Once again, what I would like to do is to officially welcome you to the third Livestock, Poultry and Fisheries Trade Show. I come also with greetings from my ministry and the commission. The fisheries sector in Ghana provides livelihoods for an estimated 10% of the population who are directly or indirectly employed within the fisheries and aquaculture value chain. The sector also contributes to food and nutrition security, poverty alleviation, and foreign exchange earnings. Government therefore places high importance on the effective and efficient management of this sector. The management of the fisheries sector is the responsibility of government through the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the Fisheries Commission. Fish, as we all know, constitutes an important source of animal protein in the diet of Ghanaians by providing 60% of the animal protein consumed in Ghana. Significantly, this figure exceeds by almost threefold the FAO estimate of 22% in sub-Saharan Africa, demonstrating the importance of fish for food and nutrition security in Ghana. The sector also accounts for an average of 1% of Ghana's annual gross domestic product. However, both the marine and inland fisheries resources are increasingly showing signs of full exploitation or over-exploitation with decline in fish landings. The decline, which is leading to a widening gap between fish demand and supply, is mainly attributed to excess capacity and open access to the fisheries resource, especially in the semi-industrial and artisanal segments of the sector. So, as we currently have it, the total fish production from all the three sectors, both industrial, semi-industrial, and artisanal, accounts for only 50% of total fish demand by the country. The fisheries resources of Ghana can be divided into capture and culture subsectors. The capture includes the marine and the inland waters, whilst the culture subsector represents aquaculture. Available scientific evidence indicates a gradual decrease in the stocks of fish within Ghana's fisheries waters due to the increasing fishing effort. Because of the dwindling fish stock of the capture subsector, the government through MOFAD has focused on the culture subsector in its effort to reduce the fish production deficit of the country. The ministry, through the Fisheries Commission, has therefore initiated programs and activities to upgrade the fisheries and aquaculture value chains through programs and activities. Now, looking at the production sector, the first on the list is the aquaculture for food and jobs, which is also on the same line as the planting for food and jobs within the agri sector. But this is targeting second cycle institutions the prison service, youth groups in churches, construction gangs who are in communities, and community youth groups, looking at the groups and trying to get them to forge ahead. We have the technologies for African agricultural transformation, TAT. This is looking at adding value to the whole chain. And what we started with is, we started with the win-win groups. We trained them in value addition, that is product development of fish species of lower economic importance. So what happened was they were trained to develop fish sausages, which is a healthier option compared to other meat sources, fish fingers, and other products. We also decided to look at rehabilitation of hatcheries and laboratories. In fact, we included new hatcheries also at Welso and Doma, and they are all to augment the supply of good quality fingerlings to the youth who are interested in going into aquaculture. Then also, part of the program, one of the program activity is the cultivation of clams along the lower Volta River basin, specifically looking at Adan, Sogakope, the Mepe areas, down to the stretch to Pong. We hope we'll be able to cover all those areas. And then also culturing of oysters in the Densu basin. One of the very basic programs that we decided to involve the youth is also backyard aquaculture with open water tank receptacles. This project has been developed, piloted at Sefi Debiso, and now there are 3 groups who are currently producing catfish from these tank receptacles on commercial basis. Yes, when it comes to handling and processing, we've been able to introduce the FTT and Ahuto ovens. The FTT is the FAO Theoroid Technique ovens, which was developed by FAO with a Senegal institute at their Theoroid Research Station. Whilst the Ahuto oven was developed with a collaboration of fisheries, food research, gratis, and a lot more. Now, product from these 2 ovens satisfy the requirements for PAH levels in fish, which is the polyaromatic hydrocarbons. Now, these are carcinogenic substances that one is supposed to meet if you want to export your product outside the country. Because of that, people having these improved ovens are able to meet requests that comes from malls, supermarkets, and elsewhere. What we are looking at from this point of view is that the youth can procure these ovens and become centers for supplying quality products for the malls and even for those exporting on contract basis. What we also developed to assist these youth is the implementation of the Class 1 recognition scheme of the processing facilities. This scheme accepts products coming from such recognized facilities as hygienically processed. And the products include smoked, salted fish, fermented products, and etc. But these can be well labeled and packaged for the malls and supermarkets. It is our pleasure to encourage our youth to take advantage of these initiatives to make very good money and ensure food security, alleviate poverty and malnutrition in this beloved country of ours. The Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is ready to assist the youth with technical advice, and all are welcomed by the Ministry and the Fisheries Commission for this purpose. I will therefore end here by saying, may the good Lord bless us all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Menu. We want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Dan Archibald. He's Agricultural Attaché, Foreign Agricultural Services at the U.S. Embassy in Accra. I know how tight your schedule was. Thank you very much for honoring our invitation. And also to the Chief of Party of the Ghana Poultry Project, Madame Karian Dubois. Thank you very much. We also have our sponsors, ADB, Mr. Trump is around, thank you. And we want to, she's rather speaking next, but I still want to acknowledge her presence. Mrs. Anna Amo Hemson, she's a Deputy Chief Executive. And for those of us who may not know, the MBSSI is now Ghana Enterprises Agency. So we have Mrs. Anna Amo Hemson, the Deputy Chief Executive, and she came with the acting head of Women Entrepreneurship Development, Madam Philomena Norman. I can see Mr. Samson Abankwa around as well. He's a technical advisor. Thank you very much for gracing the occasion. On that note, I'll please want to invite Madam Mrs. Ama Mohemsen, and I still say NBSSI, forgive me, NEA, who are also collaborating with us on organizing this event. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister for Food and Agriculture, representatives from AGRIHOUSE Foundation, representatives from the National Farmers and Fishermen Award Winners Association, United States Department of Agriculture's Ghana Poultry Project, invited guests, our esteemed and hardworking animal farmers and agripreneurs, our media partners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Ghana Enterprises Agency, formerly the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, I wish to express our sincere appreciation and profound gratitude to the AGRIHOUSE Foundation, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, United States Department of Agriculture, GPP, and the National Farmers and Fishermen Award Winners Association for this very important collaboration and support to showcase and promote the livestock, poultry, and fisheries production value chain in Ghana. As part of Ghana Enterprise Agency's mandate to support the micro, small, and medium enterprises sector, one of our main objectives is to promote agriculture and agribusiness in general as a vibrant industry that serves as a reliable source of employment and revenue generation, and also contributing to the balanced nutrition of the Ghanaian populace. As an agency mandated to promote and develop the MSME sector, we endeavor to pursue this agenda through the extension of our business development and financial services to support the growth and expansion of MSMEs in the agricultural sector and agripreneurs in general. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, agriculture is undoubtedly the backbone of Ghana's economy. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization, it's cited in the USAID's Feed the Future report on engaging youth in agriculture through information and communication technologies, that agriculture contributes to 54% of our country's GDP, providing over 90% of our food needs and accounts for over 40% of export earnings in the country. Animal production plays a major economic, social, and cultural role in the lives of Ghanaians. Animal production ensures Ghana's food security. However, we would all agree that the sector still faces some challenges, especially in terms of resource mobilization, livestock diseases that threaten animal production, and inadequate technical skills for business development and expansion. In acknowledgement of these challenges, the government of Ghana has deployed various interventions to relieve animal farmers of these challenges. These interventions include duty and tax exemptions and holidays for livestock producers, duty exemption on machinery and production equipment, among others. These interventions were made under several projects, including the Resiliency in Northern Ghana, RING project, the Energy Processing Gender in Agro-Processing project, the Mondelez Cocoa Life project, and the FBO Capacity Development Project, and more. At the Ghana Enterprises Agency, we have had the opportunity to support the agricultural sector by providing capacity building services, skills training, entrepreneurship and small business management training, and the development of training manuals on agricultural marketing, among others. Under the Ghana Poultry Project, the GEA has been instrumental in the delivery of key support services in the Doma East, Central, and Doma West districts. These include, but are not limited to, the facilitation of grants from Doma Poultry Farmers Association, DK Ampofu Farms Limited, Doma East Wanfield Poultry Farmers Association, among others. The facilitation of credit facilities for the establishment of 11 poultry farms for the youth in the Doma Ahinkro area. The facilitation of some poultry farmers' access to regularization of their businesses with the Registrar General's Department and the Environmental Protection Agency. Formation of Women in Poultry Association in Doma Ahinkro and Wanfie. The facilitation of the construction of solar panels to power water into poultry farms. The facilitation of access to credit facilities for poultry input dealers. And last but not the least, the facilitation of credit for the construction of a feed mill for Doogie Royal Farms. We want to reiterate the fact that we are committed to continuously work to support the agricultural and its subset sectors and provide livelihood enhancing opportunities for animal farmers. The theme of this event, which is We Move 1 Year, is apt for the current climate. We want to see our finished animal products exported beyond the borders of Ghana. I believe that with hard work, a common sense of purpose and focus, we'll be able to achieve our goals. I would like once again to express our profound gratitude to the resilient animal farmers and agripreneurs for their tenacity and hard work. A big thank you also goes to AGRIHOUSE Foundation, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, United States Department of Agriculture's Ghana Poultry Project, and the National Farmers and Fishermen Award Winners Association, as well as all other sponsors and stakeholders for their commitment and also for gracing this occasion. Finally, I wish to assure the exhibitors, the participants and attendees of today's training and trade show that the Ghana Enterprises Agency, through our business advisory centers and our business resource centers, will continue to provide various support services to enable them achieve their dreams. We wish you a very successful training session and trade show. Thank you all very much for your audience.
A very big thank you again to Mrs. Anna Mohemsen. She's a Deputy Chief Executive, Ghana Enterprises Agency. It takes a lot to put together a training program of such magnitude, and we want to thank the various animal associations. To the Beekeepers Association who are present, we want to acknowledge your presence. Women in Poultry, Rabbit and Grasscutter Association, the Pig Farmers Association, thank you very much for being a part of this year's event. We also have a number of collaborating institutions, and next we want to have Madam Comfort, a champion of the Ghana Egg Secretariat, to share a few words with us. Can we please put our hands together as we welcome Madam Comfort, a champion.
Good afternoon. Honorable members, participants, directors, the media, all protocol observed. I am the coordinator for the Ghana National Egg Campaign Secretariat. Already I've gotten a lot of people at my stand asking, when was this done? Is it under MOFA or what? And I told them the history. The Ghana National Egg Campaign Secretariat was formed or registered in December 2019. Just as we were about to actually do our work, the COVID came in. But that notwithstanding, we were able to move and mobilize eggs for the vulnerable, especially during the lockdown. Because our main mandate is to tell people the importance of consuming eggs. I know when you mention eggs in Ghana some years ago, then people will just shun away from you. But now when we talk about eggs, people have got to know the importance. We are doing school activations, churches, at lorry parks, markets, just telling people and encouraging people to eat eggs. About 3 months ago, poultry farmers have experienced a lot of glut. The eggs are sitting there and people are not eating them because of the price. The egg has gone up a little due to the production cost. It is the duty of the Ghana National Egg Campaign to still continue and encourage people to consume eggs. And that is exactly what we are doing. This is the third time that LIF is taking place. And throughout the 3 years, or the 3 consecutive times, NEX has always been with them. And they give us free places to do our work. And we also collaborate with the Ghana Poultry Project, because the NEX is a private association. We don't have money, but I'm here talking because GPP has supported us and they are still supporting us. We buy the eggs. We have trained nutrition officers from the Ghana Health Service who move around with us to give the education, so that if any question, any health question, any medical question comes up, they are there to explain to the people. So, on behalf of the Board of Governors of the NEX, on behalf of GPP, which has also given us space in their office, I would like to encourage the AGRIHOUSE to continue this worthy cause, because this is an open exhibition, it's free. People can walk about and ask any question and they get the right answers. I was just reading something from my WhatsApp, and there was a lady during a program like this. It was a conference for farmers. She is a medical doctor, and when she got up, she said the only thing they are lacking in one of the African countries is how to get the youth into agriculture. And she said, even being a medical doctor, after going into farming, she has realized that she doesn't even want to be called a medical doctor, but a farmer. And she said, if we want the youth to take up our places, we should make farming sexy. We should make farming the oxygen, but not the backbone, because as she said, as a doctor, your backbone can break. It can be fixed, but it will take some time. But if it is the oxygen, if you don't breathe oxygen for some seconds, you are gone. So this was the message she gave, and I'm giving it to our youth. Come into the farming. The poultry farmers, most of them are getting old. Why don't you come in and join? Join me in the campaign. Eat the eggs. If it is 1 cedi, it is better to take an egg than using the money to buy medicine. Thank you very much. You are all welcome, and enjoy the 2 days. Thank you.
I think Madam Comfort deserves another round of applause. There have been so many myths about the consumption of eggs, and gradually, through the Ghana Egg Secretariat, I believe we are making a headway. In Twi, we have a proverb that says, "Ohoho na eri akoko na niaba na niabo," literally meaning is a visitor who consumes the meat of a one-eyed chicken. But we have a directorate that makes sure our animals are in good health, and they have been our technical partners over the years for LIF. We want to invite the Deputy Director, Veterinary Services Department, Dr. Geoffrey Akabwa, to share some few words with us. Shall we please put our hands together for him?
Honorable Acting Director of Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Director Agribusiness, Agriculture Development Bank, colleague agriculturists, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I'm delivering this address on behalf of the Director of Veterinary Services, Dr. Patrick Abake, which, for some reasons, cannot be with us here. Permit me, please, to shift this thing a bit. I'm having dyspnea. I need some air. Yeah, that's better. The Veterinary Services Directorate is one of the technical directorates under the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. It was established by the Disease of Animals Act of 1961 with the mandate, among others, to provide input for the formulation of animal and public health policies, promote livestock production so as to minimize the country's dependence on import and livestock products, control zoonotic diseases, monitor the provision of safe food of animals' origin for human consumption. Ladies and gentlemen, in fulfilling this mandate, the Veterinary Services Directorate carries out various functions. It provides animal health services for poultry, small ruminants, large ruminants, pigs, as well as pets. For poultry health care, the Directorate ensures the availability of vaccines, both imported and locally manufactured, against various poultry diseases. It is worth noting, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the poultry vaccines, called I2, which protects both local and imported birds against Newcastle disease, is manufactured in the veterinary lab in Accra here. Additionally, the Directorate makes available tried and tested vaccination schedules for the various poultry diseases to farmers and other interested stakeholders. In terms of ruminants, ladies and gentlemen, we, in addition to the provision of various prophylactic measures, make available vaccines against various small and large ruminant diseases, both of economic and public health significance. The Directorate import vaccines against peste de petit ruminant, PPR, in small ruminants, as well as contagious bovine pleuropneumonia, CBPP, in large ruminants. It is gratifying, ladies and gentlemen, to state that vaccines against the following diseases in ruminants, that is hemorrhagic septicemia, otherwise known as pasteurellosis, black leg, also known as black quarter, and anthrax, are locally manufactured in our veterinary laboratory in Pontamale. In order to ensure the efficacy of these vaccines, the Veterinary Services Directorate came out with tried and tested vaccination schedules for their administration. With a view to improving farmer and public knowledge of animal diseases and encourage their participation in animal disease prevention and control, the Directorate periodically organizes workshops, seminars for farmers and other stakeholders. We have in place very reliable laboratories manned by competent veterinary personnel in Accra, Tamale, Takoradi, Kumasi, Oho, and others. Although unrelatedly, permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to disclose that COVID-19 testing is being carried out in majority of these veterinary laboratories mentioned. To date, these laboratories have tested 21,160 samples and are currently testing on average of 200 samples daily in the Accra laboratory. To ensure that meat consumed in the country is safe for human consumption, Trained veterinary staff are stationed in the various slaughtering facilities to carry out meat inspection. Ladies and gentlemen, the veterinary services is struggling with lack of adequate staff. Our numbers are dwindling by each passing day. This notwithstanding, the veterinary staff are located in various districts, municipalities, as well as metropolis, assisting in day-to-day animal health care delivery. The major disease of pigs that the Directorate is confronted with is African swine fever. African swine fever is very devastating to the pig industry on grounds that it has neither vaccines nor cure. The only preventive measure is distraction. Although it is not zoonotic, that is to say, it cannot be contracted by human beings, slaughter is not recommended, since that would amount to further spreading of the disease. One major constraint, ladies and gentlemen, in its eradication, very unfortunately, is lack of reporting. On the part of pig owners, bearing in mind that their pigs will be destroyed once reported. Regarding rabbits, we have noted widespread of outbreaks of rabbit hemorrhagic disease virus in the country over the last couple of years. Rabbit hemorrhagic disease virus is an infectious viral disease which attacks the rabbit's internal organs, causing them to hemorrhage. This is a life-threatening condition that can take hold very quickly. As a control measure, the Directorate has a potent vaccine against the disease in place. The Directorate had embarked on the control of various disease outbreaks over the last couple of years. Notable among them is the series of avian influenza outbreaks in various parts of the country. Of equal relevance is outbreak of anthrax amongst pigs in the whole municipality as recent as last year. This has also been successfully controlled. Let me at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, assure the organizers of We Move Wanya that in spite of the dwindling number of veterinary staff, we can still be relied on by poultry, livestock, and fisheries farmers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jeffrey, from the Veterinary Services Directorate. Thank you very much. I want to invite Mr. Tanko Bambangi, the PRO for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, to take us through the next session. We want to have a quick panel discussion. For some of us, Agric may be new. Some of us have been into it. We just want to have some practical learnings from those in the Agric value chain. So we're going to have a short discussion, and that'll be moderated by Mr. Bambangi from the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Also, kindly be reminded we are live on Facebook on AGRIHOUSE Foundation and also on YouTube on AGRIHOUSE Foundation for the associations and companies who want to share. And please be reminded, as we close this session, there will be a tour to the exhibition booths that is just behind us.
Thank you very much. May I quickly invite the panelists to take their seats. We will be done very soon. USDA, the representative, Mr. Desmond Bani, President Association of Ghana Graduates in Skill Development. Formerly, it was Graduate Unemployment Association. LEGMA, Department of Agriculture. Then Auntie Rebecca, Nyankodo Farmers Association. Please, if you are here, kindly take your seats so that Thank you once again. This afternoon, we want to look at strengthening and developing a sustainable animal agriculture value chain to improve youth involvement.
Hello.
Basically, we want to look at the role of stakeholders to strategize for us to achieve this goal. In 2017, the President did launch the Planting for Food and Jobs. We started with the food crop models. The food crop models, we achieved some tremendous successes. And that was a basis for us to launch what we call the Rearing for Food and Jobs, which was done in WA for the livestock sector. The government provides the necessary environment for private sector to drive on to develop the agri sector. So on the back of the food crop models, we knew that there was so much maize, soya bean, we have made some gains, and these are key in food formulation, feed formulation for the livestock, the fisheries, and then the poultry sector as well. Coming from this background, I recently read a research that was done by IFAD, and it suggested that the global population is projected to reach 9 billion by 2050. The research further Let's just put it away, please. Just carry it away. Thank you. So the research further discovered that the age bracket of 15 to 24 is also expected to reach about 1.3 billion by 2050. That is about 14%. And mostly it's likely to come from Africa, rural Africa. And this therefore will create or put pressure on the continuous unemployment situation in rural Africa. And it suggested that this is the time to act. Agriculture is the way to go. Now, I want to start with USDA. You have been in the sector for a while. You supported Ghana in several ways in the agriculture sector. What do you think we need to do right so that by 2050 we will not go through youth unemployment in rural Africa? And particularly we want to relate it to Ghana. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me? That sounds good. Okay, well, thank you very much. My name is Dan Archibald. I am the agricultural attaché at the U.S. Embassy for the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Thank you so much for involving me today. And this issue of youth involvement in agriculture is actually, it's certainly not unique to Ghana. It's a worldwide problem. The U.S. itself, we have lots of discussions in our agricultural sector because as of, I believe, 2017, 2018, the average age of the U.S. farmer was almost 60 years old. And so across the world. Ghana, you're certainly not alone in confronting these challenges. One thing I've seen that's been successful in bringing youth into the agricultural sector, and it's also a very important issue for sustainability as well, is integrating. Thank you. Is integrating technology into the agricultural activities that we are doing. Bringing in youth who are generally more tech savvy, generally more open to using technology in their agricultural activities is very important. And so in the United States, for example, we see in areas like urban agriculture, organic, regenerative, precision and climate smart agriculture. Those are some of the subsectors where we see the greatest increases in youth involvement. And so I think it's very important, and I think I couldn't say it any better. I believe Madam Comfort said, make farming sexy, and I'll just stick with that. I think is an excellent attitude in how to show young people that farming is not scratching a living from the earth. It is business. Agriculture is marketing. It's the STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. That agriculture contains all of those disciplines. And so I think it's very important to emphasize that agriculture has lots of possibilities. If you are a young person and you want to get into agriculture, that it's not simply the traditional traditional approach to what most people think farming is. And you know, organizations like 4-H, for example, very, very important in these types of getting youth more involved in agriculture. In the United States, we have the Future Farmers of America, for example, and I think that name is a bit misleading, because in Future Farmers for America, most of those young people are involved in science and technology disciplines, but they are wanting to apply that to agriculture. And maybe the final thing I'll just say is in terms of what USDA has done in Ghana and around the world. We have many, many different exchange and fellowship programs where we're often working with graduate and doctoral level Ghanaians and other people from other countries coming to the United States to study at universities, bring that knowledge back to Ghana or elsewhere. But I think we need to do a much better job of reaching young people much earlier in their studies. For example, we're starting a pilot project in Ghana this year where we will bring a small number of U.S. Science and agriculture graduates to Ghana to teach in Ghanaian junior high schools, teach their craft, agricultural sciences, to Ghanaian junior high students, so that in these very, very important formative years, Ghanaian children and young people are seeing that farming is not the farming that their parents or their grandparents did. It's a new and exciting sector. So I will leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes, so he has stated that we need to integrate technology into agriculture. He has admitted that Africa, therefore Ghana, has a great potential in the agri sector. He's also stated that we need to incorporate agric into our curriculum at the younger age We introduce them into agriculture, they grow, and they never depart. Quite recently, there was an international seminar, and this young lady rose to speak. He actually took a brochure that was prepared for the seminar, and on it was an old lady. The picture was captured as a cover page. She suggested to the event organizers, if we have an objective of involving or making agriculture attractive for the youth, we need to use more youthful and attractive pictures on any material that is seeking to promote agriculture. He has stated that clearly. Answer near can say agric sector no share ye full say for ye papa no ye nana no omo djuma esese omo ye nti ejuma eni hobio ema ye ko university ni wi a ye de krata ye nam ye pa ejuma ye kwa ejuma no so e wo hono ba ya ye se ko university a ye mabunu no ye mpese be ye kwa ejuma nti wadwen mu de na betimi aye senia mabunu no ombedo ekwia yo no mo embeboy na omo eye ekwia adwuma no a adwuma bre beba omo so omefa omo na afofo omo wie university no ma bebo
mi mama aha enane eja ne mpenifo a etonsa efrewo ene mia minianom akuafo efreme Rebecca Boaje akuafriye midi eshadakam wo hwehweme a okọ Nyankodo Farmers Association kofa bai mini abema asema obisa mi eya me depa free tete oduma kuma bo ade oko Genesis 2 ho a okay verse 1 going na ube hu se Onyankopon di kua ena ede hye abode ase ye mame ene ye papa nom a sebe ye ne ayetena ekurase de yenim kua dwuma ena omode hye ye papa nom a omobe ye akrachefo akese ewo Ghana mi finka ye mpesetia ya wo me achimoda mentia kua dwuma emfaso woso enye se krache adwuma enye ana aba adwuma enye se wanye bia enu ho enne Ghana ha ye se wode ho bebo Nyankodo Farmers Association sabe prediasa se wanya kwadworo na wanya ani ha ye ka esikafo a oka ho bi ya tete mofra ewo Ghana ha ebra ye no ofra mofra na no mo da fom twe na yare akofa ba ya na yakata ya no ya ye hu hikan na enkwala ni tifie na ye kenkwala ni nyina bom me no ka sei ebi ye nkokọ ebi ye krokoko ebi ye dabo busam se ye nyanim die wai ye mame abeta onyame onhyira abrene abi na me bowdi afasa ye ba ha obe ma training yitre don ba ha obi ehun na omo nye nipa ketwa ye ko ya ye hye mu nkura omo befom omo hu ne ye efe keke ena me no ka sei ebi edua kube afi we twema afeda o me start ati o de computer kasema obe harvest kube no na nhyira ka brade sɛ yɛ brother baako ɛwɔ ha Emmanuel Akwa ɔyɛn dabo me brɛ papa ɛnɛ obomidi a na wasɔre ɛwɔ dodu kwa dabo ni bi timi wo bi a edunum ebi a enkron ɛnɛ n'ani agye saa wɔ ho nea ɔnka na mɛsrɛ menka ne tententi Ghana mɛbu no ɛmayewa no ɛmmeranteɛ no ɛnyɛ krate dwuma nko a na ɛyɛ adwuma yɛ nananom ɛyɛ mmoa afe so a na ɔmakum bi ɔkɔfoɔ ne adeɛ sa adeɛ ma nsakye akokɔ bɛrima kɛseɛ ne bra onya hɔhoɔ a kye akokɔ bɛrima no fa ne bra na ɔde ayɛ dua na ɔde ama hɔhoɔ no
Auntie Rebecca.
eti mɛsrɛ Ghana amɛbu no kuayɛ ɛho ɔfasoɔ na wɔdeɛ papa mefa akwanya wei so ne nyinaa ɛyɛ sikasɛm ka mɛsrɛ yɛ papa no ma ɔmo wɔ ha ɛne yɛ maame no ma ɔmo bɛtie kura no yɛnkɔ ne nipa sika so nka ho a ɛnyɛ yie ɔmo mmoa yɛn sika ne yɛfɛ nyɛ kua ɔmo nsɔ yɛase na ɔmo sɔ yɛase a Ghana bɛfa ne ntoma pɛfra nyame nhyira.
Yeah, that's it. So Auntie Rebecca is saying agriculture is the way to go. Let's form farmer groups and associations. She's also appealing to the agric financing institutions to come to the aid. She's urging all youth to get involved in agriculture. Now may we move to the Department of Agriculture, Legma. Madam, what should we be doing to make agriculture attractive in a sustainable manner for the youth of our dear country?
Thank you very much. I bring you greetings from Lejokuku Municipal Assembly, that is Teshi, where we do a lot of agriculture. If we want to help the youth, if we want to make agriculture very enticing to the youth, we need to train them. We need to involve them. So what I will say is, the youth, a lot of them are graduates, a lot of them have certificates. They move from office to office looking for job. Whilst agriculture is there is no interview you can enter. There is no appointment that come next week or something will give you a job. You go and you don't get it. Agri open their arms and we are inviting the youth to come. We do a lot of workshops, trainings, home and farm visits to advise farmers and prospective ones. Give them technical advice, improved messages that will help them go into agric and get something better out of it. We have fish processors. You know Teshi, so the beach is part of our municipality. We have a vibrant women's group. When the men go to sea and they get a catch, the women process it into either fried fish or smoked fish. And it's creating a lot of avenue for the youth, especially the young ladies. These days, the youth, they want big phones, big cars, but they don't want to work. They think agric is so difficult. But if we should train them, if we should sensitize them, that no, it isn't only tilling the land that will make you rich. It isn't only tilling the land that is so difficult that they are running away from. But if they go into value addition chain, it's so easy, they can do it. So the youth, what I'm advocating for is we should involve them. We should invite them when we are doing something through the trainings. I have a living testimony here, a young graduate. Through our trainings, now he's into aquaculture and he's producing catfish and he's making it big. At least he has also trained somebody, a youth, and he has employed 2 people, 1 lady and a man. The lady is the one who grills or smokes the fish, and the man also helps in feeding the fish. He's here and he has a sample. I want to call Japhet to bring us what he has, and please look at this young man and what he's doing. He's created employment for other people. So let's involve the youth in whatever we do. Thank you.
Yeah.
Japhet,
Mr.
can
Japhet,
we see you, please?
if you are here, let's see you.
Japhet, you are here. Can we see you? Please, a big round of applause for him. He's a graduate. He didn't hide. He's now into aquaculture and he's doing well. Can we have a look at your face, please?
Yes, so the Ministry of Food and Agri, Ministry of Agriculture Development has a lot of policies that the Department of Agriculture is rolling out, targeted at the youth. The objective is to make agriculture attractive. Madam has added that training, capacity building is very, very necessary. The value chain is so broad and we can all fit in. I will produce, you process, another one does the marketing. And together we'll achieve the objective of developing agriculture and thereby creating jobs. So we have planting for food and jobs, we have rearing for food and jobs, we have the greenhouse villages, we also have agri engineering services, that is the AMSEC, we have aquaculture for food and jobs, and keep naming them. And we also appreciate the efforts of private sector, people like Alberta, with all the partners and the donors, they are investing a lot. And today is an example, a lot of training and capacity building is going on. So this is what our brother is able to do. And today, trust me, you go to the market, just 1 catfish, if you don't pay close to 50 Ghana, I'm not sure you'll get. So if you have about 10 of them, you can imagine you're making a lot of money. So let's emulate our brother's example.
That's some of the fish that he has, they are ready for market. And he has also trained somebody else. So wow. Please, the youth, there is a lot. You have a lot to learn. Wow. Agriculture is not difficult. Please embrace it and make money for yourself.
So another graduate can partner them, buy the fish, smoke it, get another graduate to do the marketing, home delivery, and so on and so forth. Thank you very much. Yeah. We want to be speaking to the graduate, the formerly Graduate Unemployment Association. In fact, the name has gone through metamorphosis, and now we have it as Association of Graduates in Skill Development. That is more positive. Say, what should we be doing to make agriculture value chain attractive, sustainable for the youth?
Thank you very much. I'm Desmond Bresbani, the president for the Association of Graduate in Skills Development, formerly the Unemployed Graduate Association of Ghana. I'm a proud president, not because people think that our name was a bit diabolic and also aligned to any political party, but because I led a group of people who are change makers and are changing lives. And seeing this makes me super happy because I have a similar thing at home that I'm also doing. And there are a lot of graduates out there who have several initiatives that they've been engaged in. Hearing my seniors speak, they've all touched on the key points that we should be doing to create jobs for our people, to increase the desire of the graduates to enter into agri. growing up, we all realized that the first trade we took is agric because it's home garden and you have livestock at home that your parents are rearing, that you are taking care of them, you are helping taking care of them. And so we ask ourselves, what happens in the middle of the journey? You realize that when you look at our secondary school system, which forms a base where people derive their passion for what they do at the universities from, we don't look at agric as a critical component. So when my senior from USAID was speaking, he touched on a point that really touched my heart. The desire of the United States to bring exchange students in to teach people within the secondary school sector to increase their desire into agric. First point, after secondary school, you move to the university. If you don't get to the university, you don't get the opportunity to even do your master's or PhD in agric. So right from the secondary school level, increasing the desire, the passion of the youth to love agric itself, it's important. Therefore, it touched on attitude of the people. When my mother from Yonkodo was speaking, she also touched on a key point that most at times we have often missed. When they say the youth don't want to engage in agric, the youth don't want to engage in agric, I disagree. Yes, back then, as far back as 2000, you could say that. But you can say that because when you watch the agric value chain itself, the contribution was very low. But since there has been improvement within the agric sector, you realize that anywhere that you pass, there's one youth or the other engaged in agriculture, something to do with agriculture. In our association, we have females who are agric people buying lettuce, cucumber from farmers and packaging them and selling them and making money. But the whole point is that do we have that necessary environment and the support to do that? There is no support system to push people who even have the desire to enter into agric. We ask ourselves, my gentleman, my brother, it's in agric, it's in Accra. I am in Accra. We have so many opportunities around us. Let's ask ourselves, that brother in Tichamante, Yakoko, Pampansu Krokese, Obrejima, Nyankpala, Wolensi, does he have that opportunity that we are seeing around us? When we are talking about creating opportunity, we have to look at it from the national perspective because one, when you look at the population of the youth in our system, it's quite frightening because 15 to 24 years makes about 57% of the population. Entirely, the youth and women are making 80% of the Ghanaian population. It means that we need to speed up effort. And when you look at our contribution to GDP, agric is doing a lot. And if you have a chunk of your population who must go into agric, you must empower them to have that desire to join an agric value chain. Not doing that, it means that we are living in crisis because it will get to a time that we will not be able to feed ourselves. Like you rightly said, by 2050, we should be able to feed about 9 billion people. Let's look at the Ghanaian context, and we are talking about 60 million people within 2050. What are we doing? I believe very well that stakeholders within the agric sector must have that desire to move agric to the youth. It must be a conscious effort that agric, and the next thing that comes is the youth. And if we are doing that, we are going to the grassroots.
Thank you.
Get there.
Thank you. I think Mr. Desmond is loud and clear. We want to just take a word to conclude from each of you very briefly. We are far behind time.
I would just say thank you so much for attending, and I also wanted to thank AGRIHOUSE, all the training and resource people here giving their time and effort. And I think on the topic, I cannot add anything of more value than my colleagues here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
anti-comfort, if you two been or the Bema, yeah, in Mabuno.
Pacho, sister Diana, me bacon, because so I bought a show moon crans, I bought or and yet office and corner ye juma, with 2 of for say. Oh, my training, no moon juma to say the bay and ye juma. Now, omo and tower. Miss Gama, and my bawa any mrantie, omo na yen training one. Me kai say time I training near 1,008. Say Ghana ha nyankodo ye nipa 30,000. Central region ye 8,700. Ebi do mo, ebi do abrobe, ebi do just say enduma bebre ena ya fatu ya hoso. Gari na opa ebibimu na opa. Etimi sre Ghana abebu no mo pega mo na mo na ye training mo. Yeah,
that's it. Yes, Director?
Yes, I will continue to encourage the youth to come out of their shells, approach some of us so that we will train them, to empower them so that they can go into the value chain, not into production alone. After production, what next? After processing, what next? So the youth, please don't hide. Come out. There's a lot of things to be done for you to improve yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think it has been a wonderful session. Ideas have been brought on board, and I know our repeaters are putting together all these ideas. And at the end of the day, we expect that we all play our role, and together we shall build. Thank you very much.
Yeah, me pacho. Yes, you know if you not go fire inchi. Na ka me 2 million animals so asofo efo. Asofo unya adwuma. Enkom hye bia na wo hye. Eti ka me so mesese. Me nuanom asofo me odifu ba. Omumra ne yenya fuo. Me nya fuo obi ba na oyare a otimi nya duane di. Obi ba na se oyare a metimi ma na duane free. Ewo kaso dilated prayer ministry. Etika mesese Ghana man asafo edifo omomra ni training won na omonyafuo na obi ba de enimo no na wankanka ho.
Shall we please put our hands together for Mother? So what she said to Wendy, that she made a call to our pastors and religious bodies to get involved in agriculture. When people to them, they are able to feed them as well. Quickly, we want to invite Mr. Abraham Waits, the agricultural counselor from Netherlands Embassy, our guest speaker, to share some few words with us.
Good afternoon, and it's both a pleasure and always quite daunting to follow such a passionate speaker. And I've learned few things in my life, but I always tend to agree with a woman that is so passionate about what she speaks. So I just want to congratulate everybody here, congratulate AGRIHOUSE, acknowledge obviously the Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and all the other distinguished guests. I think most of the things that I said have been said in this panel, because being here, the one thing that strikes me and that makes me happy is seeing so many young people interested in this topic. There's young men, and there's also young women. I hope next time there's even going to be more women, because you're extremely important as well for the development of this sector. Couple of things I wanted to say. I think as we sit here in the middle of this city that I love very much, Accra, the relationship that we all have with the food that comes from outside of the city, the men and women toiling every day to feed us, is so important. And I think really the people sitting here represent all these men and women working so hard to feed us all. And it's important to pay attention to that relationship, because I think if we talk about engaging youth in agriculture and food, It goes beyond just organizing your business. It goes beyond even making a profit, although it is essential. It goes to the relationship that we have with the world surrounding us. It goes also to the future. We all know that we live in a quite immediate climate crisis, and the way that we produce food is directly attached to our climate, both in that the way how we do it affects the rate that the climate is going to change, and the rate that the climate is going to change affects the way how we can produce our food. So only for that matter, thinking about 20, 30 years from now, how this world will look, it's an essential question for all the young people here. And I firmly believe that what we eat, how we produce it, and how we treat it is an essential role in how our world is going to look in 30 years. And I think an important thing is actually that what made me happy arriving here, there's so many people sitting around in small groups, exchanging knowledge, debating each other, challenging ideas, because that's the only way that you form ideas that are worthwhile and that are actually going to change things. So keep on these debates for the next 2 days, because these are the things that can make you walk away from here with an idea to either strengthen your business or maybe even completely change your business. But that connection, that group of people challenging your ideas is maybe the most valuable thing that there is, because you're not going to learn it from people like me standing here. You're not going to learn it even in your school books. You're going to learn it from each other. And you need that competition, because you need to be better than the guy next to you. And you also, at the same time, need to understand that if you want to develop this sector, you cannot do it alone. You have to work together. So be competitors, but also acknowledge that you need each other to grow the whole sector. Last thing I want to say, because I'm also standing here as a representative of the Dutch embassy. The thing I spoke to just now, this being competitors, but understanding that you know each other, from the person that gives you the input to the person that's going to finally buy your products. That is, I think, the central way how the Netherlands has ever become a very strong agricultural country. After the US, I have to acknowledge them, of course, we are the second biggest exporter in the world, and we are very small. We're much smaller than Ghana. That's not because we are so smart. That's not because our grounds or our soils are so much more productive. That is because that understanding, that balance between competition and working together is, I think, ingrained in how we organized our sector. And I really hope that all the young people here today think how they can do that together. It's not about how big your piece of the pie is. It's about growing the pie for all of you. And I think the companies from the Netherlands that are represented here today, we have Koudijs, or as you would say, Coogie's, and we have Holland A. Kokor. They're two companies that provide really quality inputs. But there are also companies that look down the value chain before them and down the value chain after their role. So I encourage you all to stay in contact, to debate each other, to firmly disagree and come up with better ideas than you already have. And I really hope that you visit their booths and see what they have to offer, but also engage in the conversation with them. And with that, I hope after this show, you come back, walk away with good ideas. I'm eager to hear them next year. Thank you all. Congratulations to AGRIHOUSE, and I wish you all an amazing 2 days. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. And my takeaway is be competitors, but understand and know each other. So doing that, we also know one very key stakeholder in the agri-value chain has been ADB, we have the head of agribusiness, Mr. Atram. We will kindly call on ADB, Mr. Atram, to give us his speech. That's a remark from our sponsor. Can we please put together our hands for Mr. Atram?
Honorable Chief Director for the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, standing in for the Honorable Minister, the Director at the Fisheries Commission, Chief of Party USDA GPP, representative of the Netherlands Embassy, farmers, trainee farmers and traders, the media, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. The Agricultural Development Bank is proud to be associated with the third Livestock and Poultry and Fisheries Trade Show. We identify with the theme, we move 1 year. As the lead bank with the single largest group of agriculturists employed in providing financial intermediation to the agricultural and fisheries sectors of our economy, it is natural for us to associate with this program, which involves farmers and fishers. This program is being held at a time that the bank has rolled out our earmarked amount of 500 million to revitalize the livestock and poultry subsectors and the various other subsectors in livestock for the implementation, in support of the government's implementation of the Rearing for Food and Jobs campaign. This is in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic and its ravaging effects on production and sales, which has caused many financial institutions to slow down credit to the agricultural sector. ADB has, however, remained unflinching and has elevated our support for the agri sector. The bank is therefore walking the 1 year mantra, and all players in the agricultural space should embrace this clarion call to move Ghana's agriculture forward. According to the Animal Production Directorate of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana imported 299,000 metric tons of poultry meat alone at a value of $508.3 million in 2020. The national demand for poultry meat is about 400,000 metric tons, we understand. And of this, we know that in 2020, for example, we had only 65,596 metric tons, which was produced locally. Imports of poultry meat into the country was about 299,000 metric tons, which leaves us with about a deficit of 35,000 to fill in. But again, the broiler imports, as we see, and for that matter, all the meat imports, put an enormous pressure on the limited amount of foreign exchange the country earns, which could have been used for other very essential goods and services, and negatively impacts on our economy. The government of Ghana, we know, has taken practical steps aimed at cutting down on the importation of poultry meat and other kinds of meat via initiatives such as the Rearing for Food and Jobs, Broiler Revitalization Program, and the Aquaculture for Jobs, as we've heard mentioned here by many of our speakers. It is in support of government's initiatives such as mentioned above that the bank's own strategic objective to help cut down on agriculture-related foreign exchange expenditure has been rolled out, and that the Agricultural Development Bank has embarked on the broiler outgrower value chain project and also support for other livestock subsectors. Under this approach, that is using the value chain approach, viable value chain players are identified, linked and financed to undertake particular activities in the broiler value chain and other livestock value chains as well. Support would also be given to retailers of meat products, such as those into the cold stores for poultry meat and other meats that they also deal in. The bank is supporting the Rearing for Food and Jobs program by financing key actors in the importation and rearing of improved ruminant breeds, pigs and poultry breeding stock for the livestock subsectors. So last year, for example, we had opportunity to finance a couple of such players who have brought in key breeding stock, foundation stock, for the improvement of our livestock sector. And we are very hopeful that this would help reinvigorate the sector and make available to farmers prolific and hardy livestock for optimal profits and incomes of the farmer households. We urge all Ghanaians to patronize the locally produced chickens, which we believe are more nutritious and healthy for our population. The following are expected to be the benefits the country is to derive from ADB's interventions in the broiler outgrower value chain program and the livestock revitalization program that we are supporting. And the benefits are as follows. One, it's greatly would help serve as an import substitute for the huge volumes of poultry products imported into the country annually, provide employment for a number of youth in the regions where the scheme is and would be implemented, provide healthy and fresh protein sources for Ghanaians, as we identify, especially in this COVID era, that a nutritious meal is very helpful in helping all of us stay alive and stay capable of fighting against this pandemic, and revive the poultry and livestock industries, which once were a major source of livelihood for farmers in the country. These programs, as we are rolling out, also have attached to them the various input programs like the production of maize and soya beans, which we are now heavily invested in up north and around the country, because they serve as major feed ingredients for all our poultry and livestock farms. In the fishery subsector, artisanal fishing remains the mainstay of the coastal communities. The viability and sustainability of the subsector is threatened by the dwindling fish stock, we're told. The expansion of aquaculture, therefore, holds the key to sustainable fish production in the country. And on that note, therefore, ADB continues to support the expansion of existing aquaculture projects around the country and the setting up of new fish farms, especially under cage culture, and new technology being introduced. Support has also been in the form of working capital to buy feed and term loans to acquire processing units to add value to the fresh fish. Also, the bank supports fishermen with the importation of outboard motors and fishing gear, and those in the fishing sector would certainly acknowledge the critical role that the bank has played in providing them with outboard motors and fishing gear. In collaboration with the Ministry of and aquaculture development in 2020, for example, the bank approved an amount of 20 million, which was used for 1,300 outboard motors, which I believe very much helped with the work of our fisherfolk. And we seek to replicate same even in 2021 and more. Agriculture remains the most important sector of the economy, with the potential to put our economy back beyond donor support, as our president keeps trumpeting. It employs a good chunk of our Ghanaian workforce and contributes less than 30% of the nation's export earnings. Indeed, we're told that in COVID, in this COVID era, it is one of the two sectors that has remained vibrant and has expanded whilst all others have contracted. The viability and sustainability of the such sector, therefore, is not in doubt. And the expansion of the agricultural sector and the aquaculture subsectors holds the key to sustainable production in our country. With the government under the leadership of the president and the sector minister and his team moving agriculture so enthusiastically, which we find so commendable, we ourselves wish to continue to associate and support in this effort of ensuring that all our Ghanaian farmers and fisherfolk indeed are well resourced. We are happy to identify and note that there are quite a couple of significant stakeholders like the Ghana Poultry Project and other NGOs that are helping to develop the technical side of it and even develop them at a small scale, teaching them how to handle financing. Because whilst we acknowledge that we are doing so much, we know in the eyes of many, or for many others, access to finance remains a key challenge to actors in the industry, especially those of you in the primary sector. And oftentimes, the challenge is with how a lot of banks perceive agric as quite risky, the informal nature and poor record keeping of the actors in the industry, especially the primary producers, because you know that the banks largely depend on records to be able to make analysis and take decisions. And the poor credit histories of some of those who have benefited from financing opportunities in the past, unfortunately, and the absence of patient capital to match the nature of agricultural transactions and production cycles. However, there's good news now. With those of you who are getting your acts together and keeping good records, there's opportunity to now approach us a lot more. Even as it has been said over and over again that the banks are not financing, I'm sure that you wouldn't say that financing of about 600 million by one bank in that sector, which is the ADB, is a mean amount or a small amount. And this has been to people who know their acts and primarily have been able to demonstrate to us that they have a market for what they're producing. They have the capacity in terms of the training that is required to be able to deliver on the requests they are seeking. And beyond that, one other thing that farmer folk and people in the agricultural value chain have often spoken about is the collateral. It is good that we highlight a bit of what the collateral is. The collateral is not the primary consideration in assessing your capability or your creditworthiness. Your creditworthiness and whether or not the project should be financed is basically due to a number of the things I've spoken about, there being a market for it, that you have the capacity to produce, that indeed the cash flows as presented are realistic and beyond realistic can pay for the facility being taken by itself. However, we are only stewards of funds that our various depositors or investors bring us. And remember that the role we play is debt financing. And this is one area that I think it would be good at the later sessions to help explain a bit further. There are different kinds of financing for different levels of production and companies. And therefore, it is very helpful to know what you qualify for, because the dynamics for accessing each of these are different. And so, before you go in for debt financing, like we provide, you must truly have your acts together to be able to benefit from it. Otherwise, at the end of the day, you might not benefit or reap the kinds of benefit that you so desire and are worth benefiting. We note that in terms of the collateral issues and challenges with access to finance, there are a couple of things that currently are in place that you could once again, if you have failed to access financing in the past, give it a second try, because the banks now have credit guarantees from institutions like the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System of Agricultural Lending, commonly called GESL, and the Exim Bank and other such places, which help underwrite some of the risks with the financing, and therefore gives you the opportunity once again to try and access those funds. One of the things that we were primarily concerned about being risk from floods, pest disease, and so on, are now also being underwritten by the agricultural insurance pool, which is GAEP. There are a lot of other opportunities that we can all take advantage of, even going forward, with warehouse receipts from the Ghana Grains Council and the Commodities Exchange also being some other avenues that you can draw on for accessing finance. As a show to the growth of the agriculture sector, we wish to reiterate the board and management aggressive agenda. The agricultural loan portfolio of the bank is 50% of the bank's total loan book by the year 2022. We remain committed to leading banks supporting agriculture in Ghana and encourage many others, especially the banks, to do so. Together, we will move the agricultural sector forward with the support of all of you here. We move one year. We wish everybody a fruitful time here at this trade show, and trust that we shall come next year have opportunity to share in some of the success stories of many of you who have been financed further by us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashram. We please want to have our lead implementing partner, the Ghana Poultry Project, share some few words with us. We want to invite the Chief of Party for JPP, Madam Karen Dubois.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I want to recognize the Chief Director of Ministry of Food and Agriculture, the representative of Ministry of Fishery of Ghana, Fisheries and Aquaculture, distinguished ladies and guests, all protocols observed. Further, I'd like to begin to acknowledge our host, the AGRIHOUSE Foundation, for their continued leadership in expanding opportunities for trade of agricultural products through their several initiatives, most importantly, the Livestock, Poultry and Fishery Trade Show, the LIF. Secondly, I'd like to especially welcome the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, at the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, Dan and his team. Great to see you on board here. We have quite a long history with the LIV, and in its early stage, the Ghana Poultry Project, GPP, which is an initiative of the United States Department of Agriculture, announced a plan to support the poultry sector in establishing a thriving trade platform for poultry, which can bolster commercial linkages, facilitate interaction among value chain actors, and increase participation of medium and small value chain actors, as well as their access to markets. Well, today, what began as a poultry value chain fair, through the commitment of several poultry sector actors, including the Ghana National Association of Poultry Farmers, NAF, Women in Poultry Value Chain, WIFAC, Women in Poultry Farming, Ghana, WIF, and the regional and district poultry associations, has proved to be the foundation of today's sector-wide trade platform, the LIV. GPP is equally proud to have supported the sector at every stage of the development of this trade show. Looking forward, just as AGRIHOUSE Foundation and the Ministry of Food and Agriculture has partnered to push the scope of work of the trade show, now covering all subsectors of the livestock industry, including fishery and animal production like beekeeping and snails. Participating and investing is key to further unlock the potential of the LIV and similar end market platforms to ensure that a thriving agriculture sector on a sustainable basis in Ghana. We call upon all commercial and development actors and stakeholders, banks, foreign missions, sector firms and individuals to prioritize food security by investing to build sustainable and inclusive market systems for agriculture in Ghana. GPP is glad to see you all on board and wish you a productive and participation in and a successful networking event. Thank you very much, and I hope you all move after you stepped up last year in this two-day event. I hope it's from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., not 6:30 p.m. Thank you very much. Have a grateful event.
Thank you very much, Madam Karian. And like you said, 8 p.m. to 6 p.m. today and tomorrow. So to round everything up, we've been privileged to have the Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Mr. Robert P. Ankobia, as our keynote speaker. Can we please put our hands together as we invite the Chief Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. After that, we will have Mr. Archibald and the Chief Executive of AGRIHOUSE officially open LIV 2021.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. As you can see, my nose mask is torn, and so I think I may just have to do away with it. A lot has been said here. That makes it a bit difficult for me to even read my speech, because everything that there is to be said has been said. So what's the point in repeating it? I really want to cut short my speech because really. There isn't much difference from what has been said. Perhaps the bits that I would like to dwell on has to do with an intervention from government in relation to the COVID-19 pandemic and the ravaging effect on the global economy and, of course, Ghana's as well, and agriculture in particular. Government, I'm sure most of you know, must have heard, has come out with 100 billion Ghana cedi facility under a CARES program, or what they call the Obatampa program, which is designed, okay, to bring about some stabilization in the economy and also, revitalize enterprises. And the agricultural sector happens to be one of the few productive sectors that has been selected to benefit from this facility. It's a 100 billion Ghana cedi facility that government has set aside, and implementation is starting immediately. We've already gone through the stabilization phase, and we are now on to the revitalization phase. And for agriculture, we presented our program, our priorities, and I'm glad to report that the animal sector, featured, and the proposal to direct support to the development of the poultry industry was accepted and approved, and an amount of 20 million Ghana cedis has been allocated. And so if you look at that and you consider all the support that is coming or already existing, okay, in the poultry, or let me say the animal sector, there is some hope. Of course, the ADB official, eloquently reported on what they are doing to support, agriculture, specifically the animal sector. And clearly the amount that he mentioned is, is quite appreciable. And we expect that together all these, will be the game changer that we're all expecting. And therefore, there is hope. There is hope. I would only like to appeal to ADB to fast track their disbursement. I know that as a financial institution, the risk element is something that you're always looking at. But let us also consider that we are not in normal times, and therefore there's a need for us to move as is reflected in the theme for today's occasion. 1 year. One of the early speakers attempted the 1 year and almost butchered it. And maybe next time I would advise that he sticks to the English version, because the Ghana side of it, if you are not careful, you will say something different. And he actually said something different. So, ladies and gentlemen, that said, I want to commend AGRIHOUSE and, of course, ADB for funding this. I have had the privilege of addressing, I think, the first edition of this series. Yes, I did address the first edition of this series, and I'm seeing a lot of improvement you know, that a lot of thinking has gone into this. We've shared experiences which I find very useful, some of which has given me some ideas that I'll share with the Honorable Minister, you know, particularly, particularly in the area of attracting the youth, you know, into agriculture. The problem that I think we have is that communication is a bit weak in terms of disseminating what it is that we're doing and the opportunities that exist. The ADB official said a lot, and I'm sure all of you must have been pleasantly surprised that opportunities like that exist. Agri financing is a major issue. It is one of the reasons why we are struggling. But now with the COVID-19, it has assumed, you know, a new importance that we need to look at critically, agri financing. And I am happy that some models are coming up. We talked about the girl cell facility. Now, there is some intervention in the area of provision of insurance for those who are into agriculture and really need some kind of support. And these facilities will give you all the advisory services and help you to be able to, access financing. Let me indicate here, having said that, talking about financing, the CARES program, which has allocated 20 million Ghana cedis to support, you know, the poultry industry, is designed in a way, the 20 million cedis is specifically to subsidize interest loans. So, example, if you want a loan and you go to ADB, and ADB, I'm sorry, this is just an example, and their interest loan is maybe 30%. I know it's much lower. What is happening with this facility is that part of the money will be used to subsidize your interest, which means that you will not be paying 30%, but you will be paying far less than that, because that facility will be used to support you through the ADB. So clearly we are tackling all the stumbling blocks that, you know, is in our path in trying to move agriculture forward. And I'm sure, looking at the determination, the passion, the partnership, you know, the new kind of awareness that we all have about the need to work together, I have no doubt that there is hope for Ghana's agriculture. So on this note, I would like to end here and wish you a very happy, and productive engagement going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chief Director. So on behalf of the team of AGRIHOUSE, we'd like to thank you all for making time to come through. The sessions will continue whilst we work with Dan Archibald and the team from ADB. We walk through the stands to basically interact with the exhibitors. So thank you once again for coming. So I think we would walk through the exhibitions now, and then the training sessions will still continue. Sorry. Hello, Dan. So if you have some final words, then we could.
Thank you. Sorry, I keep taking my fair share of my time, so I'll only just add, again, thank you so much to AGRIHOUSE, Chief Director, fellow sponsors, and you know, I think what I'm most happy about at this program is I look at the training sessions and everything that's going on, and it's very much a homegrown Ghanaian program. The capacity, the knowledge is here, and it's available, and of course the USDA will remain a partner in capacity building and knowledge transfer, but it's here. So yes, good luck and enjoy the trade show. Thank you.
Right, thank you so much, Dan. So we'll move to the exhibitions booth, and the sessions will still continue from here. Thank you. Michael.
Okay, so please want to invite the Chief Director and all our other guests to please join the team to open the exhibitions. Just have a tour of the exhibition booths whilst we set up for the training sessions as well. So, Mr. Dan Archibald, the USDA, the theme from USDA, the theme from Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Fishery Questions. You can kindly join the team to visit the exhibition booths. So the last training session we'll be holding, our trainers are taking their positions. So just from the training, just from the tour, we just come to finish up the second training. So what we did, the first batch of specialized trainings, the same thing will be repeated. So for those who were not able to exhaust their class during the first session, you continue. Those who did, you can switch. If you registered for more than a course, you can switch to the next session as well. So we'll be having that right now to somewhere around 5:36. Thank you.
So one person should go and then
Just one person. So that's one person is there already. There's somebody there already. Somebody there already.
at the exhibition side.
Yeah, so please, our guests are visiting the exhibition booths. So the team visiting the exhibition booths are still awaiting the director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Oh, okay, he's having an interview.